It's a bit strange for the first act of a government to be giving a massive free kick to people who can afford very expensive European cars. I think out there in the real world, it's people who can't afford expensive European cars that are struggling. So let's see about that. Obviously, don't have the details of what would go the other way in terms of Europe. Everyone was very sceptical of whether Europeans will open their agricultural markets, despite their newfound love for free trade since Donald Trump was elected. They run the biggest protection racket in the world. So look, let's wait and see the details here, but also keep in mind that under this government, they are pushing ahead with plans to put a massive new tax on the purchase of all vehicles in this country. All, at least non-electric, non-hybrid vehicles will become much, much more expensive when the government's ute tax, when their National Vehicle Efficiency Scheme that they call, will start soon. So, again, why would we be making very expensive European cars cheaper while we make the average standard vehicles that Australians that are struggling can afford more expensive? I was shocked that it was as big a defeat as we had. Obviously, you go into a fight trying to be positive, but for a long time, Peter, you know that I've had my issues with where we've sat as a political force. I don't feel like we had enough to fight for at this election. And politics is not like designing a new car, keep that theme going. You don't just add a new bit of mirrors, some power steering or what have you. Politics is about heart, it's about passion, it's about a mission, it's about a purpose to improve people's lives. And I don't think I think we've left our fighting spirit behind in the past few years. We have become too timid, too scared about being criticised, and we were, instead of keeping front and centre in our mind the people we represent. And so I don't think those people felt that we were fighting enough for them, and we struggled therefore to build a winning coalition. Last week, obviously we did. So, right. So I believe here we have to start now with the guiding principle that we should not be discussing how we save the party. We should be discussing how we save the country. That should be our central focus. Like, what do we think is best for Australia and for our nation? And then go and argue and fight for that as hard as we possibly can.
So
Well, there's no doubt the country has changed, but I'm not sure it's changed in the ways that sometimes the most vocal of our political commentariat outline. Take, for example, your comment there about a city-based population. I grew up in the outer suburbs of Brisbane. I now live in a regional town. And I just don't think it's true to lump everybody who lives in Brisbane or Sydney in the same boat. The experiences of people that live in and around the water of our major cities is much, much different than those who have to commute an hour or more a day.
So does that point to the very problem that the coalition is going to face, where you've got the Liberal Party and the Nationals?
Well, again, no, because I was going to say, Peter, that there's these forgotten frontiers of our country, and obviously we normally think, oh yeah, okay, somewhere where I am today in central Queensland, we're a bit forgotten, but the other forgotten frontier is our outer suburbs. Their views and their problems often get ignored by our national media. They therefore sometimes are overlooked by the major political parties who take their direction from that media. And I'd suggest to you that there is a much closer symbiotic relationship, much closer in character between a suburb in Rockhampton here like Parkhurst and an outer suburb like Park Ridge in Brisbane. Their problems, their issues are much, much similar than between Park Ridge and Paddington in inner city Brisbane. Park Ridge and Paddington are closer geographically, but in terms of their economic opportunities, in terms of the struggles they face in their life, they're much further apart. And what clearly we need to do as a political force is to be the voice of those people who are overlooked, that are forgotten in this country, that are struggling right now, that are battling, and we need to ignore the loud voices from those people who do not face those economic struggles in their lives to want us to go so-called to the left. People are saying that right now, that we should go to the left. I mean, I don't think like that at all. I've spent 2 weeks on polling booths every day. No one has come up to me and said we need to go left or right or this or that. They don't think of themselves in those terms. What they want is a political party that fights for them, that delivers for them. And that will require, in my view, different political strategies than we had 20 or 30 years ago. We do need to think about that. But ultimately, we need to show how we're fighting for them, because they feel overlooked, they feel downtrodden. They were the people that defeated The Voice a few years ago. They feel our country's being divided. They feel that this woke agenda is not consistent with how they want their country to develop, and they need someone to fight for them.
Just a final one here, and just quick because I'm out of time, but have you got a preference on who leads the Libs now?
Definitely not. I mean, I'm in the Nationals Party. We've obviously got to look at our own performance. It's, of course, better than our friends in the Liberal Party, but we still now have the smallest party room since the Rudd-Gillard years. We cannot accept a mediocre performance at best, given the economic environment we're in. We weren't able to grow. We can't accept that. That will result in more defeats. So we've got to look at our own performance, what we can do better, and as I say, take up the fight for those people that desperately want a better future. They want a political class that actually represents them. I think they feel that the country's being ripped off by a bunch of people that have much more money than them, and like today, giving a free kick to people who can afford a BMW. How about those people that have to settle for the Hyundai Getz? How about looking after them for a change? And I don't think this government has done that in their first term, and those people desperately need a voice in Canberra, and the Nationals Party can do that.
All right, Matt Canavan.